Women perform 66% of the world's work, produce 50% of the world's food, yet earn only 10% of global income and own only 1% of all property. Why does such a disparity exist between men and women, and how are we going to solve this? Today, Team Proposition stands here to propose that we take one step forward by tying developmental aid to women's rights. First of all, how is the women empowerment and economic development related? Women empowerment and economic development are actually closely related. In one direction, development alone can play a major role in driving down inequality between men and women, and in the other direction, empowering women can benefit development. So as first speaker of Team Proposition, I stand here to present my setup. So first of all, what we will do as Team Proposition is 8 important steps that will benefit women. First of all, strengthen opportunities for post-primary education for girls while also simultaneously meeting needs for universal primary education. This is important for two reasons. Is that primary education is an important factor as it helps boost the literacy rate of a country, as well as post-primary education is simply because there is a high dropout rate in most of the developing countries. We too will guarantee sexual and reproductive health and rights to women, as this is an important need in developing countries. 3. Invest in infrastructure which is female specific in order to improve things such as female sanitation, female facilities, etc. 4. Guarantee women and girls property and inheritance rights. These are very important, as in many developing countries of the world, property rights are still situated around men and it is very difficult for women to inherit property. 5. Eliminate gender equality in the workspace by decreasing women's reliance on informal sources of employment. 7. Closing gender gaps in earnings and reducing occupational segregation. 8. Increase women's share of seats in national parliaments and local government bodies. And 9. Combat violence against girls and women. All of these steps are going to be taken by the relevant stakeholders such as the developing countries, which are going to be the recipients of the aid, as well as the developed countries who are going to be the donors of the aid, as well as the women and girl children residing in that country who receives the aid. So first of all, what exactly is developmental aid? Developmental aid, also known as developmental assistance, is financial aid or other sorts of resources given by governments and developmental agencies such as the UNDP to support the environmental, economic, social and political development of developing countries. So first of all, what are the objectives of us Team Proposition trying to tie developmental rights to women's rights, developmental aid to women's rights? First of all, we want to reduce social, economic or political power inequalities between women and men, boys and girls, and ensure that women benefit equally with men from the activities that they perform, or at least compensate for past discriminations. Second, develop new institutions or strengthen existing gender equality or anti-discrimination policies, legislations, as well as institutions. So, as first speaker of Team Proposition, I'll be moving on to my constructive part of the speech and providing the first claim of Team Prop. First of all, our first claim is this House would tie developmental aid to women's rights simply because the social inequalities produce economically inefficient outcomes. I'll be providing 4 arguments in order to support this claim. First of all being, what exactly is development in the human case? True development occurs only when social, political, cultural as well as economical development all happen at the same time. Social development needs the divides between men and women to be erased, and this is an important factor when we tie developmental aid to women's rights. When social inequalities are removed, societal development occurs, and when societal development occurs, true development can occur. Second, developing countries have been statistically proven to be incapable of correctly reducing this gender divide, and therefore we need to prove that. We have already proven to you that they need the help of the developed countries which have already gone through this stage, who have already had such experiences of fighting the gender divide, to provide both resources as well as help with planning in order to ensure that these developing countries move smoothly throughout this phase. Third, economic benefits of tying developmental aid to women's rights. First of all, economic benefits are when a woman begins to work, families will earn more money. and this can cause multiple effects, such as the families will earn more, directly resulting in this increase in the spending power of the family. Increasing spending power of the family, and this also results in general development of the prosperity of a nation as a whole. So this week you have shown you that these are many economic benefits that just come from one single outcome of this action. Second, this can also provide other important economic outcomes as well as social outcomes, such as equal wages. Equal wages and equal remuneration for men and women has been a societal issue that has been plaguing many developing countries. Even if a woman and a man work for the same amount of hours in the same position, woman will always be paid lesser for the work that she does when compared to what the man does. So we need laws that will provide women the ability to demand equal remuneration as their male counterparts. And second, maternity and paternity leave. Maternity and paternity leave came to existence only when women entered the working field, and such kind of new innovations will exist only in the working field, only if we let women enter the working field, and therefore we need this developmental aid to be tied to women's rights. Third, improvement in working environment is an important factor we have to consider when we notice the fact that in many of the developing countries we find continuous evidence of the working environment being very harsh as well as not suitable for continuous working. So we need, when women enter such working environments, it has been proven that the women continue to make attempts to change their working environment, and therefore it will lead to some success in some outcomes. The fourth and final constructive will be about HDI, which is Human Development Index, Millennium Developmental Goals, MDGs, as well as Sustainable Developmental Goals. Now, why am I talking to you about ranking systems as well as goals that the United Nations and other international agencies have set? Now, this is an important factor we have to consider. Every country wants to be high on the HDI ranking list simply